Hi, I wanted to welcome you to the Divorce Planning Podcast. I'm Carri Goldring, and I'm in the mortgage business, and I do planning pre-divorce for people who are either going to refinance their home, do an equity buyout, or plan to purchase a new home and make sure that everything in the divorce decree is worded properly and the numbers in the planning is taken care of so that you can go through the underwriting process smoothly. And I would like to introduce you to other people who are interested in the divorce planning process so you can get a real education of what's involved. Hope you enjoy.
Hi, today I have with me Caitlyn, who is a client of mine that I closed her mortgage loan on a refinance. And Caitlyn, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. I so appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's so nice. So let's start with, before you were introduced to me, have you ever heard of a certified divorce lending professional before?
Never.
It's a new concept. And who brought it up to you?
I actually found what it was myself. I
Oh,
was in the divorce process early on, and I I knew that I needed a team. More that I researched, it showed you just can't have your attorney because your attorney is not an expert in everything and they charge a lot of money per hour. And
yes.
so I was reading through a lot of articles, a lot of research on what types of professionals can be on your divorce team. And the certified divorce mortgage lender kept coming up. And I knew early on that I wanted to try to keep my marital home. So I did some research and I just Googled are there any in my area? Is this
Mm.
is this something that is common? And your name was the first name to pop up because your office is in my town. And so
Oh, wow.
I thought it was a good sign. And that's
Yes.
when I reached out to you. You're the only one I reached out to because you answered my call pretty quickly. And the minute I heard your voice, you were what I needed. You were more than just a mortgage lender. You gave a different perspective and really took emotion out of a lot of decisions that one has to make during a divorce. And unfortunately, it's a very emotional process, but you have to make decisions without emotion for the best outcomes for you and your family and your future.
Right. That's so true. That's so true.
That is how I found you.
Oh, that makes me so happy. And then did you tell your attorney, like, hey, I'm working with this mortgage person? And did they say, oh my God, what is that?
I did tell my attorney, and she has heard of a certified divorce mortgage lender. And she was happy that I was working with you. It was a very collaborative effort. It, I think she was probably happy that I was asking you things that you knew but way better than her. So from the get-go, she knew, and I looped her in emails with you. And I think the collaboration on that, mind you, there's other professionals that work with attorneys all the time with divorce. And so I think attorneys are now, it's commonplace. I think I would be hesitant if my attorney was not supportive of that. I would say, whoa, like, it's a good sign when your attorney wants all the help we can get to get the best outcome.
Right. And some attorneys do still like to do everything by themselves. And some attorneys like to have a team of professionals that each specialize in a certain area. And then they like to have everybody on the same page because I may suggest something that affects your taxes that I wasn't aware of or might not legally be possible, or someone else may want to legally do something, but then it would stump you from getting a mortgage.
Hmm.
So it's nice. It's nice when everybody can collaborate together to do the right outcome. And then did you want to share the work that you and I did prior to you even making mortgage application?
Yes, I would love to. So, a little bit of background. I came to you having worked part-time for many years. The mortgage was in both my husband at the times and my name. I was unsure if I could qualify on my own with my sole income of part-time and debt that I had. You took the time to create this beautiful Excel spreadsheet that step by step went through how to repair my credit to get it in a place where I have a better chance of getting a better rate, a better odds of approval on my own. That's something that you didn't have to do. I am so grateful that you created that for me because I can't tell you how many times I referred to it. And it literally was, okay, you have 50 extra dollars, you put it towards this card. Okay, that one's paid off. Now next month you take the $150, the 100 from the original and the 50, and you told me exactly where to put my money.
Oh, good.
That was an incredible gift. And I think that that gave me the knowledge to kind of have some financial rehabilitation before I could qualify on my own for a mortgage, which I think is a lot of individuals issue when they are looking at divorce and dividing assets in the marital home. I think that that is a common issue of can you qualify on your own?
Right. And I think a lot of spouses say to the spouse that needs to qualify, you're not going to qualify, don't even try.
That
And then you get that in your head and then you don't try. Or I have a lot of people who are afraid to even call me for the first phone call because they don't want to hear the bad news. That's what they're thinking.
I will say yes. Everything you said is accurate. I was told I would not qualify. In fact, during mediation, I was told I needed to to provide proof that I was approved, which my attorney's like, legally, you don't have to do that. But it's an intimidation tactic to try to make it seem like you can't succeed in what you want, whether it's the home or whether you want a buyout, whatever it is, or buying a new home. You know,
Right.
I live in an area that's expensive. On my part-time income, I would have never been able to buy a house outright. I That's why I really wanted to keep the home I'm in. That said, I was also, I wouldn't say ashamed, but I was a little embarrassed giving you my info and my where I ended up during the divorce financially based on decisions I had to make during the marriage. However, you were so patient and non-judgmental, and you even injected some of your own personal stories into our conversations, and we had numerous conversations for over a year before I finally closed on my loan. This isn't just a one-time conversation. You took
Right.
time and sometimes evening, like it was not just 9 to 5. You took the time to really get to know me, get to know my goals, get to know where I wanted to be, and you helped me reach it. Um, all while, you know, I never ever felt judged or um, ashamed for decisions I made or whatever, wherever, where I was versus where I am now. And that is so valuable because I think divorce is so heavy and you are extremely exposed in the divorce process. Discovery is sometimes horrific and everything is laid out like you're standing there naked. And
Right.
to have someone on your team like you who gives you a towel and says, it's okay. We're going to get through this. step by step. You are an amazing human being for what you do every day.
Oh,
Truly.
you warm my heart so much. And I thank you. Like, you make me cry.
You
That's
make
awesome.
you bring tears to my eyes based on the kindness and compassion and patience you showed me because it is a long process. Divorce can be lengthy depending on your situation.
Right.
And you know, I think it's almost like when you buy a new car, you all of a sudden see all the same car on the road. You're like, wow. So when you get divorced, you find all these people who are going through divorce or newly
Right.
divorced, and I find myself constantly bringing up your name
Mhm.
and telling them and giving them your information because you provided more than just a mortgage for me,
Well, thank you.
truly.
I'm so, so glad. And I do love what I do, especially when I can be trusted, right? To like do what I know I do well
Yeah.
and have someone believe enough to not necessarily follow because you make your own decisions, right? I just give you all these options all the time and we discuss pros and cons. But it's nice when I feel trusted and appreciated and then I really can like go above and beyond and help any way I can. And
Yeah.
I thank you for trusting me and letting me do that for you.
You are more than welcome. Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so great. And you said now you're thriving and you're doing well.
Yes, I am about 6 months post divorce, the finalization, and I am thriving. My home is all mine. And I think I told you there was something magical about closing on my mortgage all on my own. Um, and I think, some people can relate that, maybe they were in a long-term marriage that they didn't ever have anything on their own. My house I bought on my own a year before I got married. And to get that house back in my name solely, it just felt so good. And it was like freedom, like,
Hmm.
and immense pride that I did it. I did it all on my own. And I can do this. And I think, like you said, the intimidation factor, sometimes you doubt yourself. And
Right.
so, and I do want to talk about because the current market, I had to refinance my mortgage from a rate that we had during COVID, and it was a 3% interest rate. I couldn't get that now, obviously. I wasn't really upset about that. And I think it's because freedom is priceless and independence is priceless. And even though I have a much higher interest rate now, I feel so much better in my home knowing that it's all mine, that I don't have to play nice with my ex-spouse because he's still on the mortgage. Or, a lot of times when you divorce, you don't know what it's going to look like afterward. As you read and as we've talked about, things change. Sometimes new individuals are, partners are introduced, or you make a parenting decision the other parent doesn't agree with. It's not always amicable. And so to be truly separated from major assets, such as the house, is a huge step in independence and moving on with your next chapter of thriving.
You're right. You're right. It's true. Yeah. And you get to make all your own decisions and you don't have to worry what anyone says and you don't have to worry about anyone taking anything away from you.
Right. And I I was married for 15 years, and within I mentioned, I've been divorced for 6 months, and in that 6 months, I've painted my house, my outside of my house. I took a tree down that needed to come down that was too close to the foundation. I made decisions on my own that I wouldn't have been able to make in the marriage. I painted
That
my
feels
kitchen
good,
a
doesn't
pink.
it?
Like I painted my,
Oh,
so I was able to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do. And that is just so empowering.
that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I really, really appreciate you doing this.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I'm Carri Goldring, and if you ever have any questions regarding mortgage, feel free to give me a call or send me a text message, 248-420-4524. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.